Right, I don't go to London very often. I think the last time I went was a good few years ago, but hop on the train. It's nice and easy to get up there, and it's about 25 quid off peak. I mean, what can you do for even a few hours nowadays? So it's not too bad. Train journey into London was all right, as you can see here, arriving the other end. And this image here, as such, it's got so much going on. All the graffiti to the older buildings, to the new stuff, to the big tower blocks and everything in the distance, Canary Wharf. And then you've got these ones as well. It's so interesting, actually, just sitting looking out the window. As normally I'm driving. Anyway, I was going to get off at Charing Cross, and I'll explain the reason why in a minute, but I actually got off at London Bridge instead, mainly because it means I could walk just around the corner, and I had a great view down to Tower Bridge. But the whole reason I was there going to London, which like I said don't normally do that often, is because sadly my uncle had died, and we were having a remembrance service at the Savoy Chapel. So I went up a little bit early. I only had about 45 minutes to sort of spare time, so I got off at London Bridge, as you can see, the Shard, and took the RX10 Mark IV with me. So I thought, actually, that gives me a lot of range. I can also do some photos in the chapel and a little bit of video as well, which I have done. I haven't put it in this video, but I have sent it to my cousins and my aunties and everybody as well, so they can view it. But as you can see here, just walking through London, it was just different. I'm used to the countryside, you know, I'm a countryside boy at the end of the day, and when you go to London and places like that, it is not daunting, but it's just different. The buildings are really cool. There's lots of colours, lots of things going on, you know, little businesses and, you know, stalls and things like that. And also we've got the River Thames with boats and things like that. There's helicopters flying over all the time, and there's just loads going on. So I arrived at London Bridge, literally, and I thought, right, camera out, and let's just start taking a few pictures. And I've got about a half an hour walk down to the chapel. So I thought, well, I've got a little bit of time to, sort of 15 minutes I can hang around for, and then I can just walk along the river and just snap away as I feel, and get there with, you know, plenty of time to spare. So out came the RX10, me being very wary of, you know, obviously pickpockets and people snatching and stuff as you go, but actually it wasn't anywhere. You feel really wary about who, you know, who's around you and stuff like that. It's not too bad. To be fair, I didn't see anybody on bikes or anything nicking people's phones or anything like that, which you see all the time on social media. But I'm very wary. I'm very aware of what's going on around me. Obviously I'm recording as well. Got a pair of video glasses on. So just to give you my view when I'm taking photos, really, and when I'm walking around, I've got my hands free. So yeah, just snapping away. Trying to look for some artistic shots, and the best thing about the RX10 is you've got so much versatility. You've got 24mm wide angle, you've got 600mm onto cranes, buildings, tops of the Shard, wide angle quickly to get a picture of the bus there, you know, loads going on. I wish I'd taken pictures of the cyclists and things like that, but I didn't. So one of my shots I really wanted to get was this shot here, looking straight down the river. You've got the HMS Belfast, I think it's called, Tower Bridge, and it actually opened. And I've never, even though I've been up to London quite a few times in the past, obviously over the years, I've never seen it go up. And while I stood there, it went up. So really, really quite cool to be able to see that, boats going under. So that was cool. It was a bit of a shitty day, as you can see. It's a bit dull. It was actually raining a little bit as well. So I did actually, in the photos, you will see they look really quite clean and crisp. I actually put them through Photoshop and did a little bit of denoising, around about 20%, just to clean them up very slightly, because there was a little bit of haziness in the air. The atmosphere was a bit muggy. You know, so as the further you look into an image, you'll end up with a little bit of graininess. It's not actually noise, it's just atmospheric water droplets or whatever in the sky. So there we go. As you can see there, it's quite a moody day. Brilliant having that f2.4 to f4 lens. It means I could shoot, you know, wide open if I wanted to. I didn't actually. I was shooting ISO 320 most of the time, and sort of f5.6. F4 when I needed a little bit of help, but actually f5.6, which is the sharpest aperture, you're looking at about f13 I think as your depth, but obviously the light coming through is f5.6. But being that smaller 1-inch sensor, you get a little bit of help from it having a little bit more in focus. So there you go. So I walked down to go underneath the London Bridge, but there's a good little viewpoint here. So I've taken some pictures of the Shard. I actually stepped back and actually snapped those people there, so they're looking out on that scene, which was really nice. And then carried on my walk. So basically walked down here, and then I was going to walk all the way along the river and end up at the chapel. And actually now I kind of know the area a little bit. It was actually a really easy walk, and actually if I go back up there, I'd quite like to spend a bit more time in this area because there was a lot more to photograph. I'd actually just dropped my water. It was in my side of my pouch and on my bag, and it fell out and bounced down. But yeah, so walking along here and then going under London Bridge, and actually you can see this, well, you can actually see it here, but there's a sign where that boat was in the actual sandstone. But yeah, I mean, to be fair, being the summer holidays, I thought it was going to be a lot busier with people, but I mean, it was quite busy, even a little birdie there. But yeah, it was to be fair, considering the weather wasn't great, and it did chuck it down with rain quite a bit, and I did get quite wet on the way down to the chapel. It was alright. Can't really complain too much. I did make the right judgment and actually take a coat with me, so I didn't get absolutely drenched, but I did get bloody hot. So it was obviously middle of the summer. It's about 24 degrees, humid as anything though, so a bit sweaty at the same time. So anyway, carried on walking. Trains everywhere. Obviously building never stops in London, it's always happening, as you can see there. A Shard in the distance, which is obviously trying to get a few different angles of it. Just looks cool. Photographers here on the thing, I just said a quick hello and said, oh, what are you up to? They're doing some long exposures of the water lapping up again on these jetties here, or what do you call it, a bit sticking out of the water there. And with the crane and everything in the background of the buildings, and he was just saying, yeah, that's what we're doing. He was, I'm not sure where he was from, he had a foreign accent, but sounded like they were having a really good time. He's just hoping that the weather wasn't going to get worse.
Not too hot.
So yeah, left them to it.
Hope it goes well.
It's nice to see other people out and about snapping, and I just explained where I was off to. But people leave something at lunch, sitting out. What I mean, to be fair, it's quite a nice place to go and sit. Yeah, it was just pleasant. Lots of boats going past. You had the police boat. You had the pleasure one there. You could do like trips along the something they called it something experience, or Thames Experience I think, and they blast along there. But you've got the Uber boats, and you've got the water taxis and whatnot as well. So yeah, it's quite cool to see. Lots going on all the time. Literally, you have I had the camera on constantly, and you know, just snapping away. I've gone through the ones to show you in a moment, but yeah, I just thought I'd show you a bit of the route that I'd walked. And then there you can see the rain, the heavens have opened. Everyone's got their umbrellas out, Union Jack ones as well, which is kind of cool. So I tried to get a couple of shots of them quickly, but they were too far along the bridge, and I couldn't quite get the angle on it, which is a shame. But it was yeah, one of those things. Police car or motor service trying to get through, and the guy opens his window and goes, look, it's a red light, I'm not going through it, because if you do go through it, you can get done, even though there's a police car or whatever behind you. So he told them to basically stick it and wait, which is quite funny. And then he obviously got out of their way a bit. But yeah, Lamborghini making a bit of noise, going through, and then the old style London bus, which was quite a handy thing, as I just walked across the road. So I captured that, and then ended up at the chapel. So anyway, here's some photos. This is the one shot I quite like. You can see the boat there. The bridge wasn't open at the moment, but as I walked across the bridge, it then did open. But there, couldn't quite get it perfectly in the middle, just the way the boat is actually sit. It's not quite sat on the water, so it's not quite in line with the bridge, but it's not bad. There's your range. So that's 600mm. And then back. I don't know if I've got a wide angle version, but I never actually went really wide. Not looking down towards the bridge anyway. A Shard, and then Tower Bridge number 1, which is that building there with the sort of cutout on it, and a couple both wearing red doing a selfie, which I thought was really quite a cool capture. There we go, the bridge up. I gotta say, I've not ever seen it. This isn't wide angle, by the way, so I'm zoomed in probably about 100 mm, so something like that, so you could see the scene. These buildings were quite cool, and the cranes being bright red, they stuck out like a sore thumb. Lots of reflections of colour and things like that. I thought it was really cool. Again, I have added 20% noise reduction just to get these images super clean, and it just proves the point that, you know, a little 1-inch sensor camera, even though it's 8 years old, can still really kick ass. And, you know, doing shots from that to relatively wide angle shots of the Shard in rubbish light, it was still producing fantastic shots. Yeah, a little bit of help from some software, but not really, didn't really have to do too much. A couple of shots here, which is I actually had to rotate them. For some reason I was holding the camera slightly wonky and it looked horrendous, so I had to level everything up a little bit. But it was only just a bit of rotation and a slight crop, so there we go. This is the Savoy Chapel, so this is next door to the Savoy Hotel, just a little bit along, and you've got all new buildings around it, and this thing's really well looked after, and it just looks quite cool. And obviously we had the service in there. Seagull photo bombing the image there, but just lots of stuff going on. It was just kind of cool, just to keep snapping. The London Bridge Hospital, I love looking at this building. I think it's fantastic, and it's just so nice to see a proper old building that's still there, but then you've got the modern stuff again, so it just makes everything a little bit interesting. Modern London Day taxi with the Big Ben in the background and the London Eye, just as a shot there. Just kind of showing off London a bit. Millennium Bridge, and then the other bridges under that behind there, and a crane, and a few other bits. People walking with their umbrellas. Just showing you the architecture of the bridge, actually. That's the reason why I took that shot. And then you can actually see this lady there with a pink umbrella looking straight at me. She actually spotted the camera. And everyone else was just busy doing their thing, and she just happened to look over and stayed looking at me for about 10 seconds. Well, I presume she was looking at me, but it was just lucky that she looked in this direction. Police boat, going, I don't know how fast. He wasn't going fast, but he was, you know, they had some other people on there who weren't police officers, so I don't know if they were just getting a bit of a show around. This was quite cool. So wide angle, 24mm in portrait, and just the contrast of the sky and everything like that was just quite cool. And again, the Shard, with all the other buildings below it, and then older ones as well. Scaffolding everywhere as well, and it's all a bit crazy, really. You know, lots and lots going all the time. There's again, this is the Thames Rib experience. That's what it was. But again, RX10 performing brilliantly, allowing me to do so many different things. You know, having a little pocket camera with a fixed focal length is going to give you stuff like this. There's nothing you can do. If you had like a 24 or 35mm lens on, yeah, you can do a bit of cropping, but it doesn't give you the same compression and the same you know, usability. So when you've got, you know, shots like this, which is 24mm, and then as you've seen other shots as well where I've been zoomed right in on things, it just shows you how usable that RX10 is. Even if you've only got you know, something like a 18 to 200 or something, you know, that's still quite usable. But when you've got 24 to 600, it's really usable. So if you go back to that taxi photo, one with the bits in these, this is a 600mm shot, zooming straight through the trees over the top of the taxi, allowing me to get shots like that. A little bit of handheld slow motion, the car coming into shot, and just two people sitting there eating their lunch. It just makes me wonder, people don't talk to each other, they're just sat separated. You know, if you're in the country, people sit down and say hello to each other. Just shows you city life is very, very different. People having their photos taken or getting ready to have their photos taken, walking, just street shots really, this one. Scaffolding, and then this is the difference, 24mm wide angle, and then boom, straight into that crane, which is right in the centre, between the two buildings there. And there you go. So usability is absolutely fantastic, and I'm so glad I took the camera with me. And obviously I utilised it in the service as well. I did some filming and also some photos as well, so it became a very, very usable tool for the day. But I just really wanted to go and experience London a little bit, and I say I only had 45 minutes, but the shots I captured were pretty cool. Very lucky on that timing of the bridge opening, which I say I've never seen personally before. So yeah, even though it was a very sad day, at the same time celebrating someone's life, my uncle, and you know, being able to have a little bit of a relaxed time, having a little walk through London and looking at the sights as well was it was quite nice. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Please click the subscribe button, the little notification bell as well. And yeah, I'll see you soon for another video. Any questions about the RX10 or anything like that, if you've just got it or you're thinking about buying one, let me know and I can answer any questions if you need any help. Take care. Bye.